just started to hold my hand out like Chris and I were in a montage for something really important. I don't know what, but like it felt really important to just kind of lean into it. It's like when you start walking towards a friend when you're too far away, and you feel the pressure to kind of run or walk faster in some way, right? You want to do. This is not my set at all. I'm actually just making my butt. Wait, first of all, can everybody hear me? Whoa. That was like a light woo. Should I? Oh, thank you. I see a thumbs up. Thank you. Okay. I'm notoriously quiet. It gets me in trouble. Ironically, I'm currently paying my bills by voice acting. I guess it's easy when you are quiet and in a microphone. In a room with a microphone. In a microphone would be a very large microphone or a very small me. I'm here to talk to you today about something very different, something very important. How many people here, show of hands, have goldfish trauma? There's a couple of hands. Okay, that's actually, I expected more. I've had not one but 3 conversations lately about goldfish trauma. Please tell me your traumas later, friends who raised your hands. I don't know why this has been like a reoccurring theme in my life of late. I don't know, just really delving into like the childhood traumas. Just to give you a bit of backstory, my dad is super allergic to anything that sheds. I was a child full of love, desperate for any type of pet that I could interact with, and the only thing I could do, get as a pet was goldfish. Like, my dad's allergic to cats, like all the rodents, all the dogs that shed. We later got a dog that was hypoallergenic, solved that problem. That was well after the goldfish trauma had subsided. My goldfish naming system was not unlike the Carolingian dynasty from medieval Europe, if anybody knows about that. If you don't, they had a couple of generations where all the kings were named either Charles or Pepin. Mine was a bit more simple because all of my goldfish were named Jenny or Jennifer. Do we have any Jennys or Jennifers in the room tonight? This is, well, it's not even a first, it's the first time I've done this bit, but usually there's one. I find there's like one Jenny or Jennifer and I have to keep it cool, right? I have to try and like say in my head, don't talk about how that was your dead goldfish's name, Avery. That's not what you do to make friends. We can't say that today. It actually is a reoccurring problem in my life, as we'll talk about later. Also, like a noob, I wrote my set on my hand. I've stopped doing that of late because one time I washed my hands nervously before my set, and all of my answers were gone. But I'm actually going to refer back to that. So, loved my goldfish. I wanted a pet I could pet. It's in the name, it's a pet. I didn't get that, but I trained my final goldfish, one of the Jennies, to go up. She was like really gentle. I could tell she was an old soul. Do you guys feel that about goldfish? Some of them have like distinct personalities. Is it just me? Maybe it's just me, but I used to pet her with my grimy child hands. She was cool with it. I wouldn't do it if she like swam away. Like I respect her boundaries. I love that fish more than life itself. But because of that, Jenny developed something called goldfish ick. It's a disease that goldfish get because of bacteria and parasites and stuff getting into their gills, and I was definitely the cause of it. Let's be real, kid hands are grimy. I know at least one person in this room works with kids. You know how their hands are perma-sticky. I think I was one of those kids. I was and still am like a toucher. Like I have to like hold my hands behind my back at museums so I don't get flagged by security. I still do. I actually still do, but that's another story. I can usually like sweet talk my way out of it and let them like pick on somebody else. But so I'm pretty well. It's not like ick like what you can get with like relationships. I've gotten my fair share of that too. But actually, like my weirdest encounter with ick in a relationship was I didn't see it coming, but I dated a guy that was a compulsive haggler. Has anybody else had that problem here? Just me, yeah, I expected that one. That one is, it was rough. We went to a grocery store one time, and that was a fucking mistake. This man walked up to a very underpaid, very apathetic cashier who deserved so much better than the interaction she had. and tried to haggle a carton of milk. I was fucking mortified. I was just apologizing, trying to get him to stop, and he was like, I'll give you $1 for this milk. And she was like, what? Fuck you, no, like it's, the price is there, you know the price, like pay the fucking milk. He had money, he was just a dick. Then like she was like no, and he was like, what about $1.25? He's like betting against himself at this point. And it just got worse from there. The worst part was I dated him for 3 more months. I just stopped going places with him. But anyways, unlike relationship ick, goldfish ick is pretty hard to get rid of. It's really sad my goldfish died because of my grimy child hands, and I didn't connect those dots until like a year later. But yeah, no, like my parents, they saw how devastated I was. They tried really hard to like get like medicated drops from like Pet City in the Village Mall. Nothing worked. It was real sad. I was going somewhere with this. Let's see where that was supposed to be. Yeah, she died. That's it. That was the story. I think I had a punchline, but it's gone. It's immediate. The icing on the trauma cake, though, I love this fish so much that I wanted her to receive a proper Christian burial. Because I was 8, and I thought that's how fish go to heaven. My dad, who had flushed my last like 5 goldfish, was like, first of all, why is this one special? And I had to like prove my point to him like it was a test of my love for Jenny. And yeah, he did it. He did it in the end after we had a lengthy debate where I mostly cried. And he didn't know what to do, but it's okay. We had a small funeral in the backyard. All was well-ish. She was still dead. That was still devastating, but like, it was all good until what I think was a neighborhood cat dug up her shallow grave. I saw my goldfish's entrails across the backyard. I see your face, Maggie, me too. That was my reaction. It was like Kevin from Home Alone. I made my goldfish disappear with, with my disgusting hand bacteria. I have really good hygiene now, you guys, I swear. This was like 20 years ago. Actually, yeah, I'm 28. This was 20 years ago. I remember what I was gonna do. Wait. I learned a lot recently when I was developing my set about, you know, like, I talked about the Carolingian dynasty before. I saw some eyes glaze over, but I saw one enthusiastic crowd. I love this. Yes, okay, we'll talk after. Yes, okay. Didn't expect this. Sweet.
No, I did.
I didn't know what an epithet was until like today or yesterday, basically. You know how like Charles the Great, he's one of like the most famous kings of the Carolingian dynasty. The Great is the epithet. It's like a way to describe people. I think we should bring it back.
Yes.
Who needs last names? I want everybody to have appalling epithets. This is the one time I will check my phone because I wrote down a bunch of like my favorite epithets for like Carolingian kings. They got some really fucking mean ones actually. They got some really mean ones. Let me see what we got here. Okay, so can you imagine, oh god, I wrote so many notes and did not use them. Can you imagine being referred to when you are in a position of power? Effing the Short, or Charles the Simple, effing the Hunchbacked. That was just mean. Like you can't change your hunchback, especially not in medieval Europe. Charles the Bald just feels like a little jab. Like who? I don't know. Did he start out that way? Did he like come out of the womb and they were just like, he's gonna stay that way forever? Eventually they let some like non-Pepins and Charles get into that club. They had like a Louis the Stammerer, which also just feels mean. It was like the precursor to the King's Speech, I think. But I have some epithets I'd like to bestow on my dead goldfish. I see a light and I'm almost done. Yes, I timed this really well. Okay, I'll save these thoughts for later. Yeah, so, oh god, no, it went all the way back to the top. That's okay. So, Jennifer the Standoffish. We didn't know how to interact yet. I didn't know what to do with the fish. Jenny the Bulbous, she just was really like one of those like puffy goldfish with the eyes. Jennifer the Cheeto-like, my only memory of her, she died really soon, unrelated to my hands. She looked like a Cheeto. That's it. Then we have Jenny the Intelligence Challenge. Intelligence Challenge. I would have gone with simple, but that was taken by our friend Charles. Jennifer the aggressive, because she was just like a really mean goldfish. And Jenny the affectionate, who was the only one I ever got to pet, and that was her fatal mistake, and that's why she died. Anyways, that's my time. Thanks for listening.
Keep it going to Avery, the sticky-handed. Yep, I too get flagged by security in every department store I've ever been in. I have this amazing ability to find the plainclothes security guys. If I walk into Walmart, it's the people who follow me through every aisle. They're the security people. The village, yeah, so I meant to mention this just after Abby was done. Because Abby wants you to go visit them in the village, in the store, the 3D prints things that has a name that I've forgotten. But if you go in there, they have a petition because they really want to get a 3D printed model of something called Pukamuku. Apparently it's the best Pokemon. I beg to differ because it's not Wobbuffet. But the village is great because it's populated by guys who look like they'd steal the cover out of your IDs. I'm pretty sure they just compete for the title of King Skeet. And like the one who's crowned King Skeet, everybody just gives him smokes. He doesn't have to ask to bum one anymore. That was a pretty awesome first half, I like to think. What do you think, folks? We having fun? So I can see some empty glasses. We're going to give you some time to fix that. So we're going to take a 10-minute break in honor of Katie Warren. Absolutely 10 and not 15. And then we'll be back with another awesome set of comedians. So thanks for coming out, and we'll be back in 10.